Welcome to a new Cars Ireland video, and this week's car is the Ford Puma ST.
This video is brought to you by Vendor Finance. If you're looking for car finance and want the best available motor finance rates, check out vendorfinance.ie and apply online today. Vendor Finance is 100% Irish owned.
So, have you ever wondered what would happen if I stuck the engine of a hot hatchback into a small crossover? No? No, I suppose most people haven't wondered that. But someone at Ford decided, you know what, we'll give that a go. And this is what we got, the Ford Puma ST. Now, it's totally ridiculous, but I'll say this quietly. It's pretty damn good. So we'll start with the exterior, because there are a few bits here that will tell you that you have the performance Puma and not just your standard one. So you have 19-inch alloys on Michelin Pilot Sport 4S tyres that were specifically made for the Puma. You have your nice red calipers underneath, and these brake discs are larger at 350 mils, 17% larger than your standard Puma, if I remember correctly. Hopefully I have. You have the ST grille on the front with the ST badging and Ford Performance on the lower lip. I think the Puma suffers from not looking as well in pictures as it does in real life. Personally, not a massive fan of the lights and just this kind of bug-eyed bit here up at the top. Just a bit off for me. But the rest of it looks excellent and just got a mean, aggressive stance. And yeah, pictures don't do it justice. This thing looks really well in person. Our car is obviously grey, and it's called Grey Matter. Yeah, very funny. I'd like to meet the brain who thought up of that one. But there's also this option of kind of an electric green colour, which I would love to have tried, and that's called Mean Green. Anyway, let's take it for a spin. The engine is a 1.5 litre 3-cylinder turbocharged unit with just under 200 brake horsepower. Torque is 320 Newton meters, and that peaks between 2,500 and 3,500 RPM. You'll sprint from 0 to 100 kilometers an hour in 6.7 seconds, which is 0.2 slower than the Fiesta ST. And all that power is driven through the front wheels, and we have a 6-speed manual as well today. It's got a nice clean, crisp gear shift, and there's a tiny bit of flop that I would like out, but other than that, it's a very slick gear change. There's no getting away from it. A crossover is going to be heavier and higher than a standard hatchback. And physics dictates that that is not great for performance. So what Ford have done to counteract physics basically is to give the Puma ST its own bespoke chassis. So you get a 40% stiffer twist beam on the Puma ST over the Fiesta ST. On top of that, you have a 25% faster steering rack. So has all of that science worked? Well, yeah, it has. This is good. This is really good. This is so much better than there's any right to be. As with anything like this nowadays, there are driving modes on offer, and they are normal, eco, sport, and track. Track, would you believe? I'm not sure anyone's going to track their Puma, but it's there as an option. In track mode, traction control is off, and all the dynamic features like the suspension, the engine, are all set up to give you your fastest lap times in your Puma crossover. In track mode, it does get quite a bit more playful, and you do have to be aware of that. You do have to be on it and paying attention in track mode, that's for sure. If my memory serves me right, in the Fiesta ST, I didn't necessarily feel the need to go into sport mode. On the Puma, however, I have found myself going into sport mode a bit more. I think it just gives it a bit more response and gets the devil on your shoulder going a bit more than just normal mode. It's not quite as responsive. Oh yeah. Now you can see there, the suspension is, I wouldn't say uncompromising, but it's stiff, and you know about it, and you do feel it in the cabin. Our test car is fitted with the optional performance packs, and that includes a mechanical limited slip differential, launch control, and a shift indicator on the digital cockpit here. Launch control is a nice party trick, and technically you're only supposed to use it on track, but it's a gimmick, isn't it? It's a gimmick. And the shift indicator is what it is. The most important part of that performance pack is obviously the limited slip differential. So the LSD will send torque to the wheel with most grip when you're going around corners to give you ridiculous speeds around those corners. We also have something called torque vectoring control, which basically applies the brakes to the inside wheel when you're going around the corner to help reduce understeer. The simple way of summarizing all of that is to say there's been lots of technology and mechanics thrown at this to make it go fast. Look, I suppose the most obvious comparison is going to be the Fiesta ST. There's no getting away from it. They're built on the same platform, same company, and the Fiesta ST has a reputation that is well earned and well deserved. And does this thing match up? I mean, no, but it's not far off, and it's not as far off as I thought it was going to be. I mean, this is maybe a weird way of comparing it, and if you want to put a percentage on fun, that just sounds like a total oxymoron, but that's what I'm going to do. I mean, it's a small, chunky crossover. It's not going to match the nimble little divil that is the Fiesta ST, but it's really not far off it. It's like 85%, if I remember correctly. Fiesta felt lighter, felt more nimble, and definitely encouraged you to be a bit more rambunctious more often. I think there's about 100-120 kilos in the weight difference, and there's no getting away from that. No matter what science you throw at it, weight is just a stealer of fun in cars like this. I mean, the level of grip this thing has is just kind of bonkers. It's got such confidence in what it's doing. And I've not found its limits. I'm sure they're there, but I think if you're finding its limits, you're probably on the edge of legality quite a lot. Like a really lot. A really lot, whatever that means. It doesn't quite have the devilment of the Fiesta ST. It's a bit more grown up, which I suppose is the point. You need that extra boot space, you need a bit more space in the back for kids or whatever, but you still want a bit of performance. I mean, is there any? What else is out there? What else is out there? Golf GTI. Yeah, Golf GTI. Yeah, I know, but that's the obvious choice. Come on, imagination. Whatever they do in Ford with chassis and driving dynamics, kudos. In Ford's press release for the Puma ST, they described the interior as charismatic. Now, I don't know that I'd agree with that. I'd probably say it leans more towards pragmatic with a sporty approach. I should write those press releases. Now, the first thing you do notice when you sit in is the Recaro seats, and I think they look really well. They've got that very sporty vibe off them. They've got some great bolstering. You really are held in tight, bolstered around the legs and around the back. Although if you are of broader back, shall we say, it will be a tight squeeze. It is fairly tight in here. I mean, it's not the most flamboyant interior, and that's why I'm calling it pragmatic. It's kind of dark, kind of dull, but you do get some fake carbon fiber weave to let you know you're in the sportier model. But thankfully, the volume for the radio is controlled by a knob. The air conditioning controls are all knobs and dials and buttons. The heated steering wheel is a button. The heated seats are a button. Buttons and dials. Very simple, very pragmatic, see? The infotainment screen is standard Ford, so the graphics are nothing to write home about, and they do have an old school vibe, but it functions well, it's nice and quick, and it's not very hard to learn either. Obviously the appeal of the Puma over, say, the Fiesta is the extra space, so I think there is a bit more in the back seats. The boot is quite a bit larger on the Puma over the Fiesta. I think it's 456 litres when you include that mega box, which is the plastic box under the boot and the floor. So how to conclude the enigma that is the Puma ST? Well, I'll be honest, I didn't want to like it. You know, it's a crossover and it's supposed to be sporty drive and all that jazz, and you're being sold something that it couldn't possibly ever live up to. Well, it does, and I actually like it quite a lot, and I didn't want to be saying that at the end of this video. I shouldn't like this car, but I do. Now, pricing is probably where it falls down the most. It starts around €42,000, and if you want the performance pack, which you do, it's about 43 or 44, that kind of region you're talking. And that starts to tickle base Golf GTI prices. Or if you look at it the other way, you can get a spec to the 9s Fiesta ST for, I think, €34,000, 35 maybe. That's a big saving. That's a big saving for, what, an extra bit of boot space, really? I mean, it's completely ridiculous and stupid, but I'm so glad Ford decided to make it. Whatever engineer in there decided, let's do that. Okay, I think we'll leave it there. If you'd like to search Cars Ireland for a Ford Puma, please click on the link above. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again next week. Bye bye.